I'm excited to share some gifts from the garden. These DIY ideas are the perfect way to share your garden with those you love. Let's start with loofah. You've grown it, now what do you do with it? That's a question I get all of the time. Well, you want to wait to harvest it until it's ready, and you can hear the seeds inside. So let's get those seeds out and see what they look like. That's the first step. Look at all those seeds in there. So we're gonna get those seeds out, and you can give loofah seeds so people can grow their own. The more exciting thing to do is to peel that loofah and get to the sponge inside, because there are so many uses. So the sponge is what we're after. That's what makes such fun gifts. Once you've got your peeled loofah, dust off your sewing skills, and you're gonna sew the edges together, and then you get these easy scrubbers. Look at that. Your sewing doesn't have to be perfect, but these are perfect for the kitchen or the bathroom, and they'll last a while. Best part is, when you're done, throw them in the compost. Now, with the cores, what I like to do is cut them up into pieces. So you've got these pieces, and they're a little bit rougher than some of the outside sponge. I went to my first soap making class last weekend at Arizona Worm Farm and made my very first soap with the loofah inside. I'm excited this weekend to do this with my daughter-in-laws, and we're gonna make lavender soap. I've been drying this lavender indoors. It's all dry and ready to go. So making soap is simple. I'm using a soap base. You're gonna pour it into the mold, put the loofah in there, add your herbs, whatever. You don't have to use lavender, you can use whatever you want, and then a drop of essential oil. And then you wanna let it harden for a couple of weeks, and you'll have soap. I'm so excited to make a bunch of these. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Living in the heart of the citrus corridor, sometimes I think I take citrus for granted. I think that everyone has citrus trees all over their yard. But really, citrus makes an amazing gift. Whether you put it in a basket like this, so I've got lemons, limes, and calamondins, or even better, make these key limes into a key lime pie, or just give them the recipe and some limes so they can make their own. If you have a peach tree and too many peaches, one of our favorite things to do is make jam. And that's even easier to give at Christmas because this was made in the spring. So all I have to do is get it out of the cupboard, maybe bake some bread, maybe buy some bread, and give it with that. Easy gift from the kitchen. Peppers. I think we also take for granted how easy it is to grow peppers, and not everyone has peppers in their garden. These are dehydrated peppers that you can grind up, crush, add to all that yummy Mexican food that we love so much. Easy gift, and it's red and green, on brand for Christmas. Now that I have a bay leaf tree, I have more bay than I know what to do with. You can only make so much soup, right? But people love it because it's fresh, it's organic, they know where it came from. So after you dry your bay, it's easy to put a few into little jars, give this as a gift or tuck it with a gift. Let me show you one other thing you can do with bay. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I was kind of intimidated and I thought it would be hard and it wouldn't look good when I was done. But I made a bay laurel wreath, look at that. And it wasn't even that hard. I cut some branches and then I stuck them into this grapevine wreath and just stuck them all around. It was pretty easy, and then I used this wire to kind of hold them in place because I know once these stems dry, they're gonna get a little bit smaller and might fall out. But look how cute this is. It didn't take very long, it wasn't expensive, and this makes a nice gift, and when they're cooking, they can just pluck a leaf, throw it in their stew. A little bundle of herbs from the garden. You can freeze dry or dehydrate, put a few together as a gift. Again, knowing they're organic, that they came from the garden is priceless. You can't buy that at the store. Another thing that's fun to make is celery salt. If you haven't used it fresh from the garden, it's totally different than what you buy from the grocery store. This is fresh celery. It has so much flavor. You mix it with some salt, add it to stew, soup, really anything that you want a little bit of celery flavor, and homegrown celery flavor is so good. So you can put it in a jar like this. This is a little salt basin here. Really makes a nice gift. Thyme, bay, and rosemary add so much flavor when you're cooking, but cutting up thyme and getting those leaves off, impossible. And rosemary also can get a little bit thick, and I always hate digging out that bay leaf at the end. So here's a solution. These little cheesecloth bags, put a little bit of each one into a bag, throw it in whatever you're cooking, and then when you're done, take it out. So easy. Best part, you can throw these when you're done with the herbs, feed them to your worms, wash this out, and reuse it. Let me show you how to do it. Grab a couple sprigs of thyme, some bay, and some rosemary. So I didn't dehydrate any of these, but they will dry out really quickly in this bag. So toss those in there. And I'm not gonna tie it yet, I'm gonna let them dry out. But how cute is this to give as a gift or tie it onto a gift with a little gift tag and instructions for how to use it? I'm excited to have a few of these in my kitchen to use so I don't have to pick out all of that thyme afterwards, all of those stems. So love this, definitely using this and giving this year. Roselle, that's another crop that people are like, okay, I've grown it, now what do I do with it? Let me show you my favorite things to do with roselle. Number one, roselle jam, my family's very favorite. Instructions are on my website, really easy. It uses the whole roselle. The pod gives us the pectin. We use the roselle calyx, and then you add a little bit of sugar, however much sugar to your taste, makes jam. It's so good. The other thing to do with roselle is to make tea. We really like making Jamaica drink, right? That comes from this. So there's dehydrated and freeze-dried roselle, and really all you're doing is steeping that in water, hot water, cold water, to get that delicious drink. I also love using roselle in tea blends. That's another really good gift. So I've got a roselle citrus tea that has some of my favorite garden ingredients like lemongrass, lemon verbena, stevia, and actually some lemon rind is, I freeze dry it and then powder it. It's in here, it gives so much lemon flavor, it's so good. So this is a delicious tea, hot or cold. And look at that, doesn't that make a cute gift? You can put a couple of these smaller tea-sized bags in with that nice gift, or if you really like them, you can give them 3 different blends. Chamomile, remember all that chamomile I grew this year? Gotta use it. I can't drink all of it, so it's great to give it to somebody with a little scooper, some tea bags, and this calming blend. We all need a little more calmness in our life. So this has chamomile, lemon verbena, stevia, some citrus in here. It's so good. It is a very nice, I like this one warm. I don't drink this one cold. Very nice, relaxing way to end the day. But again, wonderful gift to one or all of these blends with some little tea bags there. Okay, if you've got a garden, generally you're going to have seeds from that garden and you can't plant all of them. So how nice to share some of the seeds that you've saved with other people. So when you've got your seeds, what I like to do is just use these little bags. Here's coriander, sunflower, Shasta daisy. And you don't need much. Really, it's just a few seeds. So take a tablespoon, put it in there, and then you always want to label it with the name and the date so they know what year. So this is cilantro or coriander, and then this was this spring's, so 2024. So you could make a nice bundle of these, tie it up with a ribbon, and give it to that person who gardens or wants to start a garden, and they have something from your garden that will grow in their garden. It's pomegranate season. Again, pomegranates all decked out for the holidays. Once they turn red like this, you know and hope that all those arils are red inside. You might have too many. If you have a big tree, that's a lot of pomegranates. If you get to them before the birds do, give a few as gifts. And this is actually not a bad thing to decorate with over the holidays too. If you have extra pomegranates, throw a few on a table with some of those olive branches from, you cut from the yard. Really easy, simple, DIY decorations that when you're done, they can just go in the compost. One of my favorite gifts to give is wildflowers. I have had wildflowers in my yard for a long time, and every year they just keep getting better and better. So last year I made these wildflower seed packages and gave them to a lot of my neighbors. So this spring it was so fun to drive around and see all of the wildflowers. So I feel like I'm doing my part to make my neighborhood look a little bit better, and they couldn't be easier. Let me show you how to do it. To make a wildflower seed packet, look for regional mixes, but that can get expensive, and so sometimes it's easier just to make your own. So what I do is just get these little bags here, and then some wildflowers that I love, right? My favorites. Since I'm doing it, I can pick the ones I want to see. So open all those up, and then I just put a teaspoon of each one. So we've got cornflower, got some poppies, and some of these I saved. I have not saved all of these. This would be a lot of seeds to save. Larkspur, Shirley poppy here, I think, and then cosmos. So that is a whole bunch of seeds in here. So we need to mix in a little bit of filler so that they don't have all the seeds in one spot. So you can use sand. I have vermiculite from the garden, so that's what I use. So you can put in about a half a cup or even a cup here, and then you'll just put it in there and close it up. And then I made these labels, and you can actually download these labels on my website with all of the instructions for how much this area covers, so they know about how far to put all of this. You just put the thing on the front. The one you download doesn't say Merry Christmas, Love the Judds. It just says, what does it say? It probably says Happy Holidays, and then you can put your own name on there. And then here's all the instructions. So when they get it, they know how to do it. If you are going to do wildflower packets, hand them out to your neighbors early in the month. The earlier they can plant them, the better. The stems will be longer and they'll grow better if they get planted earlier in the season, because December is kind of the end of the planting window for wildflowers here in the low desert. But if you get them out early in the season, that means you're done. You can sit back, relax, and enjoy the holidays knowing that you have made your neighborhood beautiful. So that's a lot of my ideas, but I want to share just a couple of gift wrapping kind of hacks or secrets, right? So I have burlap, use it to help germinate carrots. I use it for different things in the garden. This is an easy jar topper or even gift wrap for different things. So use up that burlap. Jute, use this all around the garden, but it's also really cute to tie up jars, to tie tags on presents. So don't overlook the things that you use for your garden. You can use them as gifts. I would love to hear which gifts you've grown and are giving away this year. I need some more ideas. Giving something from the garden gives a piece of you, and it means so much more. So I'm definitely excited to give all of these gifts and to make some of them with those that I love. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. It's too early to say that, and I'm supposed to keep talking.
That's right.